Okay, the Lord woke me up this morning, and the Most High wanted me to read, not just to my people, but also to the world and let you understand what's going on. A lot of the world is just in ignorance. They don't know. He said in the latter days that his children, the children of light, was going to wake up everyone to the truth, and that Judah was going to kick the door down, and he was going to also wake up his brothers and sisters. Now, Judah was predominantly, and a lot of the Jews are what you would call are in the Americas. Now, I'm going to read. Christopher Columbus knew something. He knew that the Americas was the land of milk and honey, or the land of Canaan. And he knew this because he read Second Esdras. Now, I'm going to read it for you. If you read the Bible, or if you go through Google it, it's going to say Second Esdras. But if you go into the cipher, CEPHER, which you can get at cepher.net, you'll learn that this book was actually in Amazon for $14,000. But now the book, you can get it on cepher.net for about 99 bucks. Now, when you get this book, I want you to understand something. It gives you a deeper account. Columbus read this, and he knew how to get to the Americas. Let me read to you, because a lot of people don't know what's going on. I'm going to read 4th Ezra, and this book is 4th Ezra. There's many books that are not in the Bible. 4th Ezra, we're going to read chapter 13, and this is verse 27. So you get an understanding of what's going on in the world. And whereas you saw that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm. 28, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but the rushing in of him that destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when El Elyon will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake a fight against one another. And these are the times we're in right now. You see Israel fighting against Israel. You see Ukraine fighting against the Russians, who are the same people. In America, you got internal battles going on. They're storming the congressional buildings, and you saw that none of these people were put in jail or anything. So a lot of what's going on is the Lord is turning nation against nation. It's only because of his holy name, and not only his holy name, his people, his chosen, his elect, those whom a lot of other nations out there know who we are, but we didn't know, but now we're awake, we know. And now I'm going to read to you because Columbus knew, because he read this book. Verse 30, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, and one shall undertake a fight against one another, one city against one another, one place against another, one people against another, one realm against another. And the same time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed you before. And then shall my son be declared, to whom you saw a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man in their land shall leave the battle they have one against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as you saw them willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand up upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come, and shall be showed all the men, being prepared and built, like as you saw the hill graven without hands. And this, my son, shall rebuke the wicked inventions of the nations. So all their weapons and their nuclear weapons that they want to destroy the earth with and do all this, he says he's going to rebuke all their wicked inventions. He's going to rebuke them, and they're going to be discarded, which for their wicked life are fallen into tempests, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and they shall destroy them without labor by the Torah, which is like unto me. And whereas you saw that they gathered another peaceable multitude unto him. Now, these are the ones that I'm talking about. These are the ones when you read in Revelation 7, it says a multitude which no man could number, who put on white garments. Well, this is explaining who these people are. 39, and whereas you saw gathered a multitude peaceable unto him, these are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king of Shalmaneser, king of Ashur, who led away captive, and her carried them over the waters. And this is when we came to the Americas. I want you to get this. This is how we got here. Let me read this to you. Who carried them over the waters. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where no man ever dwelt, that they might guard their statues, which they never kept in their own land. So in 70 AD, General Vasman and Titus when you can read this in the history books, put a great slaughter to our people. So we was in northern Africa up top, and we ran to Europe. A lot of us, what you call Nigerian, the Igbo, we ran into what you would call the middle part of Africa because we were running away. Africa was given to Ham's children. Anything that's cold and hot was given to Israel, hot and cold lands. That's why we got the Americas and any land that's hot and cold. Japheth's children were given frozen lands. All of this in the scriptures. Get the book of Jasher. In the book of Jasher, it explains all of this. Let me keep reading. But they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country, which never mankind dwelt, that they might guard their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into a Pereth, by a narrow place of the river. For El Elyon then showed signs for them and held the flood till they were passed over. Because at that time, the waters were so rough, the reason man had never been to the Americas because the Lord had the water so rough, people couldn't get here. He was reserving this land for a reason. 45. For though that country that was a great way to go, namely of a year, so it took a whole year and a half, to get here to the Americas by ships. It says the same region is called Azareth. So this area that we're in now, they call Turtle Island, the Americas, Meru, all of that was called Azareth a long time ago when the 10.5 tribes were brought here. That's why when Glenn Beck, and look it up, did a special and he found these bodies, and these bodies had a black statue with the 10 Commandments on them. They were Hebrew. And the Smithsonian Institution, which hides all of our history, came through and they took it away. So I'm educating you because a lot of people are not liking each other because the 1% and the Albert Pike letters, when you read them, the biggest thing that they wanted to get rid of religion, they went into Russia, and that's why Putin and them still have all of our archives on the walls, Black Russian Archives Church. You can look it up. They went into Russia and they took away religion, and then they brought in communism. They also came through and they said they're going to break out the homosexuals. Then the next thing that they were going to do, they was going to break out atheism. Then they was going to pit Muslims against Christians. And the last thing they want to do, they want to create a race war. Well, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen that way. The Lord says with his children, they're going to kill the wicked. And I'm telling you, people of all races, there's good people. So when we say the wicked, we mean those people who don't have the laws in them, those people who oppress other people and kill other people, those people who've taken upon themselves to be a plague on the earth. And that's exactly why Putin says, I know who the Negroes are. I know who they are. And America's built on a house of lies. And just like it's built on a house of lies, like a house of cards, they're going to fall. Let me keep reading. 46, then dwelt they there until the latter times. And now when they shall begin to come, Elion shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go forth through. Therefore, you saw the multitude with peace. So when you read the scriptures, and I believe it's Revelation 12, 6 is 12 and 6 is 16 and 12. Revelation 16:12 talks about the river Euphrates drying up, how he's going to drop all the rivers of the earth. And he's doing that so he said his children go over dry land, but also the men of the east, which is Putin and all of them, are going to come deliver the people. Because they know, just like a lot of these countries are suffering, they know that in America, we're suffering. And not only are we suffering, everything's been taken and they will give us nothing back. That's why you got to read the book of Obadiah. I want you folks to go read it. It's only 2 pages, but it explains exactly how Esau, Edom, the Americans are thinking, and how the Lord was going to take their wise men away. And the reason that you see what's coming on America with all these nations coming around her, with all these people all of a sudden turning, every nation that you talk about right now, they're turning on America. Why? Because she's the daughter of Babylon. She's the one that sits on many waters that many merchants trade with, but the Lord said they're all going to turn on her. It says 48, but those that be left behind of your people are they that are found within the borders. Now, when they destroy the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. And that's what's going on, folks. Right now, when you see the earthquakes, when you see all of these storms, it's because the Lord right now is defending his people. And his people were brought to the Americas a long time ago. They're Indians or indigenous people. And now it's being, why do you think they don't dig in America? They dig in Africa, they dig everywhere else, but you will never see archaeologists digging in America. Why? Because it's going to reveal the children of Israel.